Hey everyone, welcome to Lunar Arcade. I'm Lunar, and this channel is your cozy corner of the internet where we talk games, all kinds of games, whether it's new releases, remakes, hidden gems, or even a bit of hardware talk here and there. This is where I dive into game reviews, hands-on impressions, occasional news, tips, and whatever else sparks curiosity in the world of gaming. So if you enjoy thoughtful takes and honest coverage, or just game curious, you're in the right place. And if you enjoy the episode, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. That really helps me out. And hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss out when a new episode drops. I've got a full Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake review in the works, and once I hit the ending, I'll be breaking down the gameplay, visuals, performance, and how it blends nostalgia with modern HD 2D magic. And yes, I'll also be talking about how it runs on my console of choice. Spoiler alert, it's the Steam Deck. Yep. It's the Steam Deck. I'll go into why it's my go-to for games like this and how it stacks up performance-wise. But what about the Switch version? Will we see a Switch 2 patch later down the line to give it a boost? I guess we'll see. But today's video is a heads up for something big. Nintendo Switch 2 drops on the 5th and I'm diving in day one. What's new, what's better, what's just hype? And we're going to answer those big questions. What can the Switch 2 actually do? How does it stack up against the OLED model? Do the Joy-Cons feel better? Are they more responsive? And the Pro Controller, is it finally everything we've been asking for? Especially that Dpad? Seriously, nobody's talking about that Dpad, but I will be in detail. I'll also be testing out some Switch 1 games that run on the new hardware, both before and after patches. We're talking about Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Link to the Past, Echoes of Wisdom, and even performance push titles like Pokémon Scarlet and Violet, which are getting free performance updates. And the other ones I mentioned before earlier also had performance issues, but you know what I mean. These titles really struggled on the original Switch, and we're going to see if the Switch 2 fixes that completely. Also, I'll be going hands-on with accessories like the killswitch case by Dbrand that I pre-ordered. My friend's rocking a different brand, so we'll compare build quality, grip, dockability, and whether they're worth your money. That way you can decide what fits your setup best. And what makes this case stand out aside from that signature Dbrand industrial look is its smart modular design. It's actually one of the only cases right now that lets you fully detach the Joy-Cons without removing the entire grip section of the case. That might sound minor, but if you're someone who wants to swap controllers on the fly or plays in tabletop mode a lot, especially with those mouse controls, that might be more comfortable and a big win for usability. It's got the tactile rugged texture, a kickstand that actually holds up. You've also got a custom dock adapter so you can leave your case on while it's docked. It's designed to preserve the OEM cooling and supports 4K 60 output and turns your dock into more of a clean display stand for your Switch 2. Honestly, that alone makes it feel premium. It comes with a semi-transparent travel cover that's rated for over 100 pounds of crush protection, which is wild, and if it's anything like the other kill switch for the Steam Deck, it is really strong. But here's the thing, it's not just there to keep your screen safe. They've also included a game card holder that snaps into the cover and holds 10 games, turning it into a display window for your collection. It's functional and flex-worthy, you're bringing with you. And finally, the stick grips for added precision and control with your thumbsticks. It's a small touch, but if you've ever slid off of a Joy-Con stick mid-battle, you know it matters. And personally, on my original Joy-Cons, the rubber actually came off after a long period of use, so the edges actually turned into kind of like wearing out tires. It looked like that. Overall, it looks like a case that actually understands how we use the console, whether you're at home or on the go or somewhere in between. I can personally say with the kill switch for my Steam Deck, it is very top quality. It's even made out of this material that kind of feels like sandpaper, but not sandpaper. I don't even know what to call that. It's just very grippy, but in a very comfortable premium way. And you definitely don't have to get all of these added features with the case. All of these should be separate like it was for the Steam Deck, what actual additional accessories you want. So if you just want the case, you can just get that and you'll spend a little less. But if you want to get everything, of course, it's going to add up. But overall, based on what they're selling, I honestly think it's worth it. And having experienced the kill switch for the Steam Deck, it really, really is a premium quality. I haven't had a game case that felt quite as premium as this one. Now let's talk about the games I'm excited for, because honestly the Switch 2 is shaping up to be so much more than just a next-gen Nintendo console. For starters, Rune Factory Project Azuma has my attention. Farming, adventuring, and now mouse support on a Switch? That's a first, and it tells me that developers are starting to get more creative with the hardware this time around. And I can't forget Mario Kart World. That one has me seriously hyped, but not just because it's Mario Kart, we all love it, but this time they're switching things up in a huge way. We're talking about a fully open world map where you can drive around seamlessly, no loading into tracks, and you just explore, race, and stumble into the wild. There's also knockout mode, which sounds like absolute chaos in the best way. Imagine a free-for-all elimination race where the last card standing wins. That kind of mode is going to be insane with friends or online. People who already tried it said they love it, it's their new favorite mode, and it hasn't even come out yet. And yes, I am going to be getting the camera. And while I do have my own camera to test out with it, I want to get this one for portability just so I can take it with me wherever I want, and I will be testing all of that real-world integration stuff. Mario Kart has always been a blast with others, and this one looks like it's taking things to a whole new level. Then there's the Raidou Kuzunoha remaster or remake, whatever Atlas is calling it, but I'm hyped, but also kind of annoyed. It's going to be a game key card, and you guys, I'm sure, have heard of that already.
They do this every year. Why?
I'm still going to play it, but I hope a lot of us make enough waves to get them to stop doing things like this. I've also got a massive backlog of Switch games I never fully got into, not because I didn't want to, but because the performance just wasn't there. Some games I was dying to love just didn't run smoothly enough to enjoy, so for me, the Switch 2 is kind of like a second chance. A chance to finally go through those titles with a better frame rate, or at least a more stable frame rate, shorter load times, and even some resolution boosts. That's a big deal to me. And yes, of course, I'm grabbing the new Donkey Kong game. If it runs well, I'm 100% in. There have been some reports of performance issues. Hopefully they snuff those out before release. Also keeping my eyes on Metroid Prime 4 whenever that decides to show up, but honestly, I'm just excited to re-experience the games I already own, but with a performance that doesn't feel like I'm stuck in molasses. What about you? Drop a comment and let me know what you're hyped for on the Switch 2. Are you like me and just ready to dive back into your older library with a performance boost and check out the new stuff? Or are you holding out only for brand new games? So leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. Let's have a conversation. I'd love to know. Thank you guys for watching, and whether you're here for reviews, breakdowns, or just vibe with another gamer, I appreciate you being part of the Lunar Arcade. More content is on the way, including my full Dragon Quest HD 2D remake review on the Steam Deck, and a deep dive into everything Switch 2 and everything it brings to the table. If that sounds like your kind of thing, like, subscribe, and tap that bell icon so you don't miss what's next. Until then, this is Lunar, signing off.